Few punches to the face to get your 300K. Relax, baby girl. Chewing gum ain't gonna help you out. I got a little bit of time on my hand. Got a little bit of time on my hand. A little bit is more than enough. Solid 10. An okay 20. Out of work. Still light outside. You already know, man. Enjoying the breeze. Just ran like 2 miles. No exaggeration. I made it no more now. We made it a normality. Let it pass. People be asking why you don't record like that no more. TikTok be muting my shit. That's why I don't record no more.
Please
like
do
that.
your part in
Do what
keeping
part?
our stations and buses
Listen to
clean.
them.
Use the provided trash can.
Yeah. They pick and select what they want to say. I know. They be watching me. Security, you watching me, man. How can I ever be afraid when you niggas watch me all the time? You gotta appreciate them somehow, somewhere. You see, today's topic is gonna be a lot of different topics. We're gonna talk about the most important things first. Of course, there's a lot of controversy that I can speak on easily. Everybody know. You feel me? But we're gonna stick to the education part. You feel me? Race issue, politics, and everything else. If it comes, it comes. So I want to talk about dimensions, man. Dimensions. People always tell, how do people travel to different dimensions? They always no, they don't say that. That's what I say. That's the question I ask. Because they be like, you vibrating high, you need to be in tune. You need to travel to different dimensions. They don't even have a name for these dimensions. They don't tell you how to get to these dimensions. They don't tell you what should I pack? My book bag? What that nigga? They don't even tell you. They don't tell you what you need to pack. Like, should I get a tent? What should I come with? How long is the trip? Feel me? What's the weather like? They never tell you about these things. Let it pass. When I get to these dimensions, what am I gonna see when I get there? Are they gonna look just like me? And there gonna be some out of this alien type shit. It's gonna be some greens or some grays. They never tell you these things, but I'm here to tell you how you get to different dimensions, what is required to get to these different dimensions, what you need and do not need in these dimensions. Let it go. We here to drop it on y'all, you feel me? It's straight from the source. You feel me? Before you can travel to another dimension, you need to know the dimension that you're in. You are in a dimension called space and time. SpaceTime. This is the operation of this dimension that we're in. The sky, the cloud, the earth, the universe that you see right now, this is all part of the same dimensions. As long as we can see it, this whole thing is a dimension itself. You feel me? The other dimension, these things you cannot see with your naked eye. You can get a feel of it, but you can't see with your naked eye. You have to go within yourself to go to these dimensions, which meaning you can't go to this dimension with this body that you have right now. You feel me? So we're going to start with space and time. You feel me? In this dimension, we have a space that we live on. There's a space. I have a space in between this, and it's a space on the chair that I can sit on. That kind of space. But it's space all around. You feel me? We can cut space into different spaces and make it our home or make it a place. But if you take all these roads, blocks, woods, and everything else like that, you will have nothing but space and time. Let it pass. Seasonings, changing of the weather, moving of the clouds. These are all space and time. It is a masculine and a feminine energy that is dancing together. We are also space and time. I already explained that. Feel me? The way we age.
For everyone's safety, please keep backpacks, bags, carts, strollers, and other belongings, out of the aisle.
A clear path is a safe path. Even the path that you take, that's space and time. You feel me? Our body itself is space and time. We have it gives us the space to grow in time. You feel me? You age. Age is a form of time itself. A woman's womb gets to smaller, 9 months, it starts growing. It creates an environment for the baby, which is a space and time where the baby is released. So we are all part of space and time in itself. You feel me? The older you get, the more you know and the more you become. That's space and time itself. So everything that we see is part of space and time. You plant a seed in the ground and it grows into a tree. That's the seed. You put it into a space, and within time it grows. That's space and time itself. You feel me? The cycling of our atmosphere, temperature, weather, climate change, space and time. Let it pass. Stop playing, keep moving, man. They always hating us. Niggas is funny like that. Like I said, our body, eventually grow into puberty and everything else. Then your facial hair start to grow in. These are all space and time. So we living in a dimension called space and time. You have to name these dimensions so you know what's the next dimension to go into. And the law remains the same for all dimensions. It's going to be based on a mirror of space and time itself. So on Earth, as I'm on Earth right now, the time right now is 8 and change. Even change, money is space and time. Let it go. So right now, on this plane right here, it's a plane, right? Earth is a plane itself within the dimension. So on this plane right here is 8 and change. If I go out of this space and I elevate a little higher and pass the cloud and go into outer space, you see, this is space right here. You go into outer space. The time there is different. So time allows you to grow, and also time allows you to breathe and see and smell. These are all forms of time. Our senses are also space and time. You feel me? I just want to, we're going to go in this slowly. Feel me? So as I go into outer space, time slows down in my body. So the movement of my body on this plane is also space and time, which in turn, they call it gravity. Gravity is also a form of time itself. It's a space and time. So as I move out of space, my body becomes slower. I age slower You feel me? Let it pass. So when I'm on the earth itself, when I'm on this plane, time is at its basic. At least we think it's basic because this is what we're used to. We're used to this plane right here, this plane that we call Earth. You feel me? It's basic time. When I move out of space, time slows down and I age slower. Plus my body starts to disappear. I shrink the longer I am in space. They already tested on the astronauts already. So the further I move away from the earth itself, the smaller my body becomes. They say that because you haven't used it loses. No, it's because of time itself. Time allows things to move around. You feel me? It's just time. You see the clouds moving constantly. Everything is in a constant rotation. It is constant movement. Vibration is even a form of a movement. Frequency, that's a form of a movement. That's the movement within the space and time itself. Follow me. You feel me? So the more that I move out of space, the more that my body shrinks. We know about the astronauts. The astronauts was in space. They stay there for a little bit. My body shrink. Let it shrink. Who cares? Yeah. The devil will always try to put something in your way to distract you, but you got to stay focused, people. Stay focused. You feel me? Don't let them get you. So, let it pass by. So, the further you move away from the earth itself, this is when your body slows down. Your body, that's why they wear a spacesuit and everything else. Because even that, you would need another body to be out in that space of time. So this body is suited for this place here. Even if you go to Mars, there's another space and time over there. We can't go there with this natural body. You feel me? So we have to wear a spacesuit. So this organism, we are an organism. The organism is a spacesuit itself that covers our whole body. Our skin is an organ that covers our whole body. It is here to protect us. And the air that we breathe, which is oxygen mostly that we live on, is also a form of light and fire and everything else. That's a representation of time itself. Stay with your boy. You feel me? Hold on, let it pass. I like to focus when I speak. I don't want to be distracted. You feel me? So the further we move away from the earth, we slower. We slowing down. We age slower. We probably live longer, but we form will like disappear. Let it pass. And if you go to the inner earth, the inside of earth itself, everything moves rapidly fast. So the further you move away from earth, time slows down. When you come back to earth, time is basic. Underneath the earth itself, things are moving rapidly fast. So dimensions is us moving away into a different dimension. That's the reason why we can't take this body with us to that dimension. You understand? That's the reason why when we dive into the water, into the depths of the water, we have to wear a special suit just to be in that position in this place. Now, if you go to another dimension, a similarity to that dimension would be something called sleep or meditation. These are ways that you can get to other dimensions. When you're about to go to sleep, if I was wired up and I'm pumped up, I'm lifting weights, now I'm physically active, I can't go to sleep. So in order for me to go to sleep, my body has to be at rest, which meaning I have to submit into sleep. You feel me? And when I go to sleep, I don't go into my dream. When you go to sleep, the dimension within your sleep is called what? A dream. Let it pass. And when you meditating, you have to stay still because this body is not necessary for you to meditate. All you need is your mind itself. And your mind is not even part of your physical body. It's an essence. It's an essence of your brain itself. So even when you meditate, right, and you stay still, you are also in a dimension where you don't need this body. You don't even need your senses. Even when you're in a dream, you don't need your senses. These senses are just meant for the place that we're in right now. So how do you go to a different dimension? You go to a different dimension just by submitting. The Bible says it. Quran says it. Hebrew says it. Submit to Allah. You feel me? Put your faith in God. You feel me? You have to be willing to be still. God said, be still and know that I am God. The Bible says, submit to Allah. So you have to be, just like you submit to your dreams every night. You submit to your sleep every night. We have so many dreams when we go to sleep. We don't even remember half of them. Unless the scary one scared the shit out you. You will remember that. You feel me? So in your sleep, within that sleep state, you go to a dimension called dream. You're in a dream state. And within those dream state, there's different levels of sleep before you even get to that dream state. And sometimes you could be halfway sleeping, you know what I mean, beta sleep and everything else like that. You feel me? Before you get to a deep sleep. Now, when you get to deep sleep, this is when your body, your mind goes into these dimensions. And it's as real to you as this life is real to you. So this life right here, which is space and time, right? We call it space and time. People call it reality. You feel me? You call it what you want to call it. So in this reality right here,
see something,
say something.
Text something. Report unattended packages.
I haven't recorded in a while, so I'm gonna just give it to. I had to slowly talk y'all through it.
Text at 909-368.
My bus ain't even coming. Feel me? They gonna try to slow me down, but it's all good. I got time. We can talk on it. They hate us. Feel me? When you expose niggas, this is what happens. But we ain't gonna talk about them right now. Let me finish with the space and time and different dimensions and how we travel within these dimensions and how you can get there and what you can take from that space. It's all about having a conscious when you get there. It's very hard for us to have a conscious in a place where we don't spend that much time in. The reason why we have consciousness of this space, because we can actually remind ourselves to feel pain. Like you can wake up from feeling sorrow. That let's just say your husband left you. You go to sleep. You don't even think about these things. Like you in your sleep state, you might dream about something, this, that, and the third. You might have something related to it. When you wake up, you remind yourself of that pain that you felt the night before. Because we have a consciousness of this reality. It's a familiarity to us. You feel me? A baby doesn't have a consciousness of the womb that he came from after a certain age. It forgets totally about it. Just like when we transfer into a dream state, we forget totally about this reality itself. So when we in our dream state, we come into a story. It's like an ongoing story. The next thing I know, I'm playing a part within that story itself, not knowing the beginning or the end. I don't have a dream, a continuation of a dream, like the way I have a continuation of my life in this reality. No, I don't. The dream, I just hop into a story. It just, you feel me? Some people have all kinds of weird dreams. My dreams is, I can't speak on it. My dreams is spectacular. You feel me? It is, I dream about things that people show in movies, that X-Men type of shit like that. It's the shit that I be dreaming before I even knew what an X-Men was, because I grew up in Africa, so I didn't know what that shit was. I really didn't. We barely had TV. We really didn't have TV. We had like 2 channels. And one came on when there's soccer and boxing. You feel me? And that's what we was watching. And my bus didn't show up, but it's all good. You feel me? I knew that was going to happen. Bitterness. It said 9 minutes, they lying. So when we are in this dream, there's already an ongoing story. Just like in this reality, there's an ongoing story. But we have consciousness where we can recall, oh, this is what I did last week. Or we have a remembrance of that reality. But in a dream world, we have no remembrance of what is going on. We are just injected into a story, or we inject ourselves into a story. our brain create this environment for us, which itself is a dimension. So within that dream state, you go to different dimension. And when you meditate, you also go to different dimension. When you meditate, when you're a super meditator, you just meditate. You can go to anywhere. Meditation, you have a little more control. In the dream state, it's a little more like, it's not manual. It's more like auto. You feel me? You ordered it. They just put, you feel me? I said dreams are forgotten thoughts. If I was thinking about something, if I was going to think about something, but I forgot to elaborate on that thought later on turns into a dream. And how many thoughts a day does a person have? A lot. So you can remember all the thoughts that you forgot about, or forgot to think on, or forgot to elaborate on, or even entertain. So those thoughts later on turn into your dreams. It's not a fact. I'm just saying this is my perspective about what most dreams are. It's just forgotten thoughts. If you pay close attention to the things that you do, you will come to the realization that your brain takes stories from here, and it's a continuation. Everything is related in the form of shape. Just like our DNA is all connected, but we just have different strips of a DNA. Although it's different for each of us, it can all be connected together, and we can probably connect it to, if we have every DNA known to mankind, we can connect it all the way to the maker itself, probably back to Adam. We do that already. We trace our lineage. We trace our lineage back to Adam. Well, back to Lucy. That's what they call it now. You feel me? That's the same thing with dimensions. If we can find a DNA of a dimension, we can trace each dimension back to the lineage of dimensions, the origin of dimension, the breaking down of dimension. So when you get into these dimensions, you don't need this body. There's already an avatar or a body waiting on you over there. And there's a story. It's an ongoing story already going on. When I say body, pay no attention to those who's going to think otherwise. When they can't keep up with the conversations, they only pick things that they can understand so they can form their own stories out of it. It's just like the dimensions that I'm telling you guys about. It's an ongoing story already, and you are just injected into the story itself, and you play your part thinking you are. Sometimes you don't even realize you're in the dream. It's only a few of us that be like, nah, this is a dream. Wake me up, and you wake up. When you get there, tell me how that feels. You feel me? Sometimes niggas don't know. They wake up, then they realize that they was in a dream. You just came from a trip, from a dimension. So these are the results of a dimension. You feel me? This is how you travel to different dimensions. Through a sleep state or a meditation. I know there's other forms too. You have to leave your body behind type shit like that. You feel me? You have to project yourself into it. Now, we try to reach other planets, but it takes too much firepower to even just get out of this place itself. It just takes too much. Then when we out of space itself, it takes too long. Some of these planets, for us to get there, is going to take 70,000 years. You don't need that kind of firepower to go into another dimension. You feel me? You don't need that kind of stuff. It's necessary that we do the things that we do on this earth. Let it pass. I like the idea of going to space. I love it. You feel me? I like the astro. I want to see all these different worlds. I want a camera that records everything so we can get to see it. We got to get the timing right, though. Because remember, it's slower out of space. So it's not going to be the same on Earth. So we probably not going to get a live feed no time soon. But we going to get there one day. Just like time on the East Coast is different from the time on the West Coast. It's all about latitudes. You feel me? That's all. California got a lot of mountains. This is the reason why it's time. Right now, what time is it right now? It's 9 o'clock. It's almost 9 o'clock. In New York City, it's probably like 12 o'clock. 3 hours ahead of us. It's about latitudes. Feel me? Time work. That's how time works. The higher you go, time slows down. You see, we are at a higher latitude, so it's only 9 o'clock here. New York City's at a lower latitude, so they're ahead of time. So that's... I gotta go, people. You already know.